This conference will now be recorded.
Fine. So let's have a quick recap of our last class. Okay. So in our last class, we have seen mostly about these releases, but we started from here. Okay. We started from here. We saw that there are many code push down techniques are there. Out of which, this is very popular: OpenSQL, NetWeaver 7.40, and CDS, along with the table function. Okay, table function plus VDM, all this concept we are going to learn under the CDS. Okay, so this concept is going to be very important for us. AMDP also we will learn in detail, because it's going to give you a lot of flexibility, though it's a very less used. It's a less used, but sometimes you may face some situation where you will have require such kind of AMDP. So SQL script we are going to learn in very detail. Okay, and then with the help of SQL script you can develop any kind of AMDP procedure. Okay, AMDP function, ABAP managed database procedure, its full name is. Then ABAP database connectivity, this is now not more so popular, because now the database has been come as a primary database, and in case of primary database the ADBC is not no more required. But still, like if we are going to use some another Hana database, another instance of Hana database, in that case you can use this ADBC. So we'll discuss these things in detail. Information model and native SQL is a very less appreciated, very less used. Okay, come over here, and here we have seen here we are having the different types of evolution, how it has been evolving Hana from one step to another step with that, and on each step it is having a different service pack introduced, and it is having different feature. Okay, we saw in detail the Hana architecture. What is the Hana architecture? At first we are having the application server, we are having access engine over here. It's a own application server where you can do the coding in node.js, and Java also you can use over there. Access classic, access advanced, both kind of tool is there, both kind of application server is there. Then we are having the index server, a true DB. It's a heart of the Hana database, Hana platform. Okay, it's going to take care of your SQL optimizer, MDM, MDX tool. It will take care of planning scenario by the planning engine, authorization check. It will handle row store, column store, delta merge. There is a concept called delta merge. Maybe I will discuss after this. Okay, name server, it's used to scale the main database. It is used to distributing the load. We have understood, like in distributed scenario we should require a mechanism with the help of which we can balance the load, right? Or if you want to increase the number of Hana database server, that we can increase. That is possible with the help of name server. Okay, that is possible with the help of name server. So maybe Muthu, can you please mute yourself? uh, yeah, thanks. So here you can see that name server, a script server you have seen, it is having three component, right? Application function library, predictive analysis library, and EML, extended machine library, which is going to support your R language or different kind of scripting language. Okay, document store servers to just like it's going to solve somehow the purpose of big data, not exactly, but SAP is trying to take care of big data functionality as well. So all the data object is going to get stored in the JSON object format, JavaScript object notation format. Okay, if you know about the JSON object, it's a readable, right? And like when we have to add the more data, then we generally use this JSON object. It's a lightweight. Okay, pre-processing server, then a statical server, integration layer, all these things we have already discussed in detail. right? This I was talking about the name server, how you are going to scale your existing database server, and with the help of name server, how we are going to manage the load. So there will be one main server, maybe you can mark it this as a main server, and this is also your HANA instances. So HANA instance 1 and HANA instance 2, okay? And this way you can HANA instance 3. This way you can, a lot of another HANA instance you can add, and there will be one main server where name server will be there, and here also your name server will be there, but the main name server will be there, which is going to communicate with another name server. But it is not relevant for us that much. Generally, it will be taken care by the basis people or HANA database administrative people. As a ABAPer, we don't have to take care any, just we have to understand a bit concept on the high level. Okay, when we understood that HANA is very important, HANA is very fast, HANA is going to improve a lot of performance when we are going to install the HANA, but it simply does not improve the performance. Like suppose if we are having the Oracle database installed, and simply if we are going to remove the Oracle database and putting the HANA database over there, it is not necessary that it's going to improve the performance automatically. It will not improve the performance automatically. You have to take care of many things. Okay, you will have to take care of many things. It is possibility that your performance will get worse. Even it is possibility your performance will get even worse if you are not going to handle the code properly. Even your functionality may be interrupted if you are not going to handle the case properly, right? So here we have seen, the while migrating the existing ABAP code into the HANA database code, so we are having two options what we can do. That, for example, uh, let me show you over here. So here we are having the application server, okay, and here we are having the HANA database server, right? So maybe currently in your for example, suppose here as of now you are having some Oracle or something like that, okay, and here you are having ECC 6.0 or something like that, ECC or ERP, okay. So now what you want to move the existing code to the, you know application server. Application server is going to be same, right? But the code, when the HANA database is going to be installed, right? So here you are going to have the HANA database. So now what you are going to do, that you are going to take care of the existing code, okay. So here itself, like the feature I have told you yesterday, right? The functional DB, functional underscore DB, this variant which you can use under the ATC, right? We are having the ATC tool, ATC transaction. We are also having the SCI, okay, SAP code inspector, SCI code inspector tool we are having here. So here we can go and we can apply this variant. Just I will show you after a couple of minutes in this session. So when we are going to use this functional underscore DB variant, again we are having the performance underscore DB for the performance point of view. All the variant we have to apply at the Oracle layer itself before the migration. After the migration also you can do, but it's better, like before the migration you are having this tool, because this tool are specific to NetWeaver. It is not like if you are having Oracle then you don't have this ATC tool or SCI tool. It is not like that. So before migration it's better to check. Even after migration, once you are going to do migration and your data is going to get live, when you are going to put your data into the production system, so of course that time also you can do, but before that you can identify all the potential places where you have to do the changes, right? Where you have to do the changes. So most of the native SQL at that time itself you can convert into the open SQL, right? So we have seen over here what other things we will have to take care while doing the conversion. Okay, so native SQL we have to take care, because if some query has been written in the native SQL of the Oracle, which Oracle only can understand, right, which is specific to Oracle, that native SQL is not going to work over here, because HANA native language is different than the Oracle native language. So this is the potential candidate which we will have to take care. We have discussed yesterday, right? Whenever any select query is there with greater or less than, also this we understood, but this is not going to create like it will not give you dump. This will give you the dump. Of course, if you are not going to handle, it will give you the dump. Here you will get the, sometimes you can get the wrong result, and which can give you the wrong functionality. Okay, wrong result, and which will lead you to the wrong functionality, right? Okay, so SQL hint, this will neither give you the wrong result or nor dump. This will not give you any dump or not a wrong result. This but here why we have written that, suppose this SQL hint has been written to improve the performance, that is not going to work anymore over here. So because you have written the SQL hint for this Oracle, maybe that particular place will be more sensitive with respect to what, with respect to performance, because you have written SQL hint to improve the performance. So you have to take care of that particular code or particular place where you have written the code, and you have to check there like what technique you are going to apply, so that the code will be more efficient in the HANA database also, or HANA database specific SQL hint you can use over there. Okay, now the secondary index can be removed, because HANA itself creates the secondary index, right? Or HANA itself creates the index on the each field. Then you are having the performance measurement, right? So when you are going to move the code from one system to another system, right, from the one Oracle database to HANA database, you must have to take care of the performance, right? For that purpose only we are in fact moving from one database to another database. So of course we'll have to take care of the performance. So in today's session we will see what is the important performance guidelines, okay, that we are going to see. And maybe I can write one more point over here, though it's not very much useful, but still we should know. If you come across a scenario, say direct access of pool table and cluster tables should be avoided. Direct access of pool and cluster table should be avoided or taken care. So most of the pool table and cluster tables has been declustered, okay, in the database, HANA database. So like you are having the tool called ACUM sum tool or R3 loader. When you are going to move from Oracle to HANA database, the data is going to convert into the HANA table, right? Oracle table is going to convert into the Oracle table is going to convert into the HANA table, right? So in HANA table, the different, the design and everything is different over there. You already know, right? That is the column store functionality is having the insert only approach, right? Their writing mechanism and the storing mechanism is a different. So like the accessing mechanism is also different. When you are going to read some data from the HANA database, that is also different than the Oracle or any conventional database, right? So in that case, what SAP has done, most of the pool table and cluster tables, what they have done, that they have declustered or depooled into the transparent table. So these things you will have to take care if you come across such scenario. Okay, there is a good documentation available on internet. Like if you come across some scenario where in customizing code you have written some pool tables or cluster tables related code, then you know how you have to take care. Generally we don't use a pool table and cluster table in our custom code. In a standard, SAP has used a lot pool tables and cluster tables, so they will themselves take care of these things, because these are the standard. So we don't have to bother this much also about this also. But if it is required, what I will do, I will create a detailed video on this pool table and cluster table, how to handle while migration these pool tables and cluster table, and I will share on the YouTube. Fine, but this is not the matter of concern as of now. Now the performance measurement, this is going to be very, very important factor for us. So all these things, like here we have written some guidelines, right? SQL, native SQL, all these things, SQL hinge, secondary index, all these guidelines, you know. So there can be some more guidelines given by SAP, but these are the important guidelines. Okay, but what are those guidelines? If some important guidelines tomorrow given by the SAP, or some optional guideline is also there, do you have to take care yourself one by one? So yesterday we were discussing, no, you don't have to take care. So even apart from this, there are several guidelines that has been bundled together in this functional DB variant. Okay, so if we're going to remember this functional underscore DB, you don't have to remember all these things. Okay, so just you have to go into your existing code and you have to go into the ATC, right? And there you can use this functional underscore DB, and you can, you can just check over there. Let's go to the system. Okay, let's go to the system now. Let me log into the system. Just give me a second. And we will see how we are going to use the functional underscore DB. We are having functional underscore DB. We are having functional underscore DB underscore addition. So these are the, we are having performance underscore DB. We are having performance underscore DB underscore addition. So these are the different variant we are having, which we are supposed to use. So functional underscore DB, and performance underscore DB itself is going to be sufficient. We don't have to bother about addition, functional underscore DB underscore addition and all. Okay, so we will see that part. Just let me log in. So come over here. In, suppose I have written some program, maybe SC38. Okay, I think I have written some, yesterday we have written in some another system. Let me log into that system. Just give me a second. Fine. So I'm just trying to log in over here. Lesson SC38 we will go, and yesterday we have written some program ZMB Hana, something like that. Let me check. Yeah, this one was our program. So here you can see in this program what I have done yesterday. I tried to show you that how, like, we can use the native SQL over here. So some native SQL I have used over here, right? And some select statement is over here, right? Here we are just going to do the search, right, without using the order by clause. Here I'm using without doing the order by clause. We must have to use the order by clause. We must have to use order by clause when you are going to do some comparison like this. Okay, we understood why we have to write order by clause over here. Okay, so all these things, suppose if you want to check about this program, right, so directly individually also you can go to this check, and you can go to this ATC ABAP test cockpit over here, right? You can click over here, and once you come, one window will open. What change, say before existing editor? Yes, I will save it. And here you can see that automatically it's going to give you the result, right? Analysis of where condition for select extended program slain critical statements, right? it is showing you the critical statement use of native SQL, right? It's already showing you this is the critical statement. So just I will show you one thing. Just let me activate once over here. Come over here once again, check, and this option you have to select ABAP test cockpit with. Okay, select this one, and this is the object. Okay, option, just come to option over here, and here you can see the execution mode is immediate and code inspector check variant. Here the default is there. Here you have to come, and here you have to give functional underscore db. Okay, functional underscore db, that's it. What you will have to do, suppress finding, that's fine, and click on this execute checks. Okay, so here you can see there are two critical statements. You can see one is use of native SQL, so we must have to avoid the use of native SQL. Come over here and double click. Okay, so here you will able to see, here you will be able to see that the critical statements use of native SQL we have used, right? So if you want to see the detail, right, if you want to see the detail, you can check over there. So the system is telling you have used the native SQL, just go and check the native SQL which you have used, that native SQL has been written with respect to HANA database or not. If that is written with respect to HANA database, then you don't have any problem, then it will work, right? But SAP recommends that please don't use the native SQL. Native SQL is not appreciated. Okay, it is not appreciated, but you can use in some situation where you don't have your table at the data dictionary level. What you will do, you must have to use the native SQL to access the data at the data dictionary level directly, right? So there is no other way. So this is the things you will have to take care, and this system is telling, right, the important place where the problem is there, right, where the problem is there. But this is a single program. Suppose if you are having large number of program in your system, right? Suppose if you are having large number of program in your system and you want to identify all the potential places, because when you are going to do the migration, you are not going to migrate only a single report, you have to migrate lot of report, right? So what you will do, you will go to /n ATC. Okay, ATC is the transaction, and from here you are having the schedule runs. Okay, you have the schedule runs, monitor and control runs, right? Then manage rules, maintain approvals and all, that's fine. Manage check variants, you are having one option over here. So this manage check variants is nothing but, this will open the transaction /o SCI. Okay, code inspector, this will open the same transaction if you click over here. Okay, so just once again we will go and we will click on this. You can see the same opened from ATC also. Here what you can do, first you can create the object set. Okay, first you have to create the object set, means what object you are going to take care of. Okay, what package you are going to take care of. So z demo test, and yesterday I was trying to show you, but some problem was there, I could not completely show you. Okay, so today just I'm trying to cover it. Okay, so here you can see the component ID and everything is there. Package you can store that dollar tmp. I'm just going to take care of local package which has been written, because I will get here so many program in the local package, because this is the demo system. Okay, so just I'm going to use this dollar tmp. In your scenario, in the productive scenario, we can use the productive package name. Okay, which, and you can give the list of packages also over here, which contains the program and which is going to, and for which you are going to do the check. Okay, so dollar tmp, different criteria of selection is there, we don't have to bother. Click on the save button, and this j demo test object is created. I will just copy this, and now here the check variant. What I will do, if you want, you can create your own variant also, that is also possible. For example, I want to create JDemo variant. Okay, so JDemo VA, click on this create button, it will give you the multiple option. Here you are having the different criteria: general checks, cloud readiness, performance checks, security checks. So your variant also can be created. You can create your own variant also based upon your requirement, dynamic test, all these things. Okay, but SAP has already given you, right, that when you are doing the migration, right, you must have to perform this functional underscore DB test. Okay, you can see already it has been given. If you click on this display button, it will display what are the important parameter has been selected. Now come to the inspection over here, and I'm just going to JDemo inspection. Okay, and click on this create button, and here the object set, whatever you have created the object over here, right, you can create that object. So I will go once again to here, and the object name, I will object set name I will copy, click on this create once again, and here the object set you can give. And suppose if you want to do the check with request wise or task wise, tier wise, you can mention the tier also. The single means single object. If you want to do some class or BSP application or program or whatever function group, you can use this option. So object set I'm choosing in this case. Click on the save option. It is talking about a specify a check variant. Okay, that's fine, because without check variant there is no meaning, right? So I'm just going to use functional underscore DB, right? This is the check variant. Click on the save button, and global check variant exists type. Okay, that's fine. Click on this OK button, and it is telling the element was saved successfully, right? So now it is there, and here you are having two options to execute. If you want to execute immediately, that also you can do. Or suppose you know that this is going to run a lot, because if you are going to run in foreground, it will time out after half an hour, right, maximum. It all depends on the how a dialog process can run maximum in the foreground. So generally dialog process maximum can run up to 300 seconds, right? That means the 5 minutes in the foreground. After 5 minutes it will go into dump. So it will go into timeout. So if you run, it will run in foreground, or here it is giving you the option that you can choose in the background over here. You can also run the server group, or here you can choose the application server on which you want to perform the test. So that is also, if you don't give anything, it will run on the existing server. You can see this is our existing server, right? Fine. So the local server, so maybe local server, simply I can select over here, right? So directly it will run on the local server. Display exempted message to no messages for all these things is optional, right? Click on this OK button, and what it will do, it will run in the background, right? It will run in the background. And you can, what you can do, you can go into SP01, a spool will be generated, and from there you can check it out. Okay, from there you can check it out. So it's just creating some task maybe, or some process is running over here. Okay, so this is how you can do. This is one way. Okay, so maybe it will take some time. So what I will do, let's wait for, because it's a dollar TMP we have chosen over there. Okay, I don't know how much time it will take. Let me open another session, and I will come to again the ATC or SCI directly. Okay, and just to like just I have demonstrated over here how you can use in your actual project, and just I am creating one another inspection variant, J demo inspect one. Click on this create button, and this time I'm not going to use the object set. I'm just going to use my single program which I have created over here, right? So program, and the program name what we are having, that slash o sc38, right? And here this is the program name. You can copy over here, and you can give the single program. We can select over here, and just we can run it. Let's give the variant, just run it over here itself. Click on this OK. And once you run, you can see the next screen, one log button will generate over here, result, right? Click on this button and you will see what is the list of check you are having. The security check, one is that, the warning that there is no critical statement as such, there is no error is coming, right? So that means our program is fine to migrate, right? But if you would have performed the same check, you know, uh, yeah, yeah, so it's fine. Yeah, it's fine over here. The warning list of check is warning over here. There is no problem. If you want to check in detail, you can come over here. The warning critical statements. You can see one critical statement it is showing over here, right? But that is not an error, right? That is not an error. If you want to see the detail, right? It is telling the native SQL and DB hints is there. This comes under the critical statement, right? And if you want to see where is that place where it is telling you, right, where is that place, click on this button and go to this. I think you can double click over here and it will take you to that place where you have written the code and you can directly check it out. You can convert this particular code into the OpenSQL. You can see there is no problem, it is showing about the OpenSQL. But for the search here I have used the where condition, greater than 100, right? So this should be actually also captured. Let me check why it's not capturing, because generally it captures. So again, it depends on version to version, like in earlier version it used to detect this also, that particular point when you are going to put the select query, and in where condition if you are going to give some greater than 100 and all, it used to give that particular point also when you are going to use the functional underscore db, because in the HANA system, it may give you the furious results. So it again depends on, maybe I don't know in this version why it's not coming, but earlier it used to come. Fine. So this is how you can check. This is how you can check. Okay. Now the another point what we are having, that uh, here the performance measurement. So functional db, the functional db, and even if you want you can use, there is a one more variant in the same way, you can use functional underscore db underscore addition. So it is having some extra checkage which is optional. Okay, the first one is the mandatory. In the first one, whichever the critical it is showing you, that you will have to take care, that you have to take care for sure. We'll have to take care for sure. I have shown you there, it was coming as a critical, right? So function underscore db underscore addition. And now, for the performance measurement, for the performance improvement, what you are having, that for this particular performance measurement, you are having the variant called, performance underscore db. You are having the variant called performance underscore db. So I will just write it, performance underscore db, and again you are having performance underscore db underscore addition. So this variant you will have to take care. But what is the general guideline when you are migrating to the HANA system, or even if you are there on your Oracle system also, what is the general performance guideline? That if we are already knowing, that's good. If you don't know, let's discuss. So some of you already must be knowing like what you have to do in terms of performance, right? But some of you might not be knowing. So let us discuss, because this is ABAP on HANA and this course is about running about the performance only. So it will be injustice if we are going to escape this particular point. Okay, though we are annoying. Okay, fine. So what is the first point we will have to do? So the first point you have to take care whenever you are going to write any select query. Okay, whenever you are going to write, so we will give the name of this particular things as the performance guideline, which will be automatically taken care by this performance underscore db variant. Even more than this, it will include whatever we are going to discuss over here, that and whatever we are going to discuss, it's going to be very important. This will be taken care by performance underscore db automatically. So keep result set small. Keep result set small. That means what is the meaning of this? That means whenever you are going to select any data from any database, any table, right? So for example, here you can see the output result. Suppose if you have a field, for example, you have a field called ntgew, one quantity field is there, right? And that quantity field you are going to select from the Mara table. And after that, uh, as per the earlier guidelines, when we were on the Oracle or MaxDB or such kind of database, right? So here the loop at it underscore table one, right, into wa, right, what we used to do, and end loop. And what you used to do over here, suppose if you have to add this particular net weight, right, net weight, this quantity field, if you have to add, you will keep on adding this quantity field and put in a variable over here on the application server. You are not supposed to use the sum, right? You are not supposed to use a aggregate function like sum, because this used to be very costly. Okay, this used to be very costly. That's why you are not supposed to use the sum. But in the current scenario, when we are having the Hana database and we are going to migrate to the Hana database, what we will do, we will use this aggregate function, because Hana is made for aggregation. Hana is made for OLAP, right? It's designed for aggregation. So you are supposed to do this aggregate function here itself. You don't have to do like this on application server. You don't have to write the code like this, that means you are going to achieve with the help of this code push down. See, this much code you are going to avoid, right? Here you will take one temporary variable, again you will add, again in loop you are going to add, and then final result you will display, right? So this much code you have code push down where? At the Hana database with the help of aggregate function, and which is going to improve the performance as well. So this is called true code push down with the help of aggregate function, right? Here you used to get lot of number of records, right? Lot number of records you used to get, because you are going to select this material number mtart, right? And if you would have not summed up, if you have not used the sum, all the net weight would have come over here. But now what it will do, it will sum it up over there, and the summed result it will show you. So result set will be smaller. So what you will have to do, the first point, this is the first point, keep result set small. So the meaning of, so how to achieve this one, the question is how to achieve this particular, okay, how to achieve. So you can use the what, you can use the aggregate function, right? Now another point here, if you go to the program, right, if you go to the program which we have opened, yes, come to this program. Okay, here you can see sometimes if some fresher will be there, what they will do, they will get all the data, they will not put the where condition, right? As a fresher, some fresher is there, what they will do, if they are not having the performance guideline, they are not trained, they will get all the data. So why to get all the data if it is not required? Get all the data which is required. So keep here the maximum where condition, put the maximum where condition, like where ntgw is greater than 0. Maybe you can put, suppose, some material number, right? Only some specific material number which is required, that only you just put, you can create one range and you can put in that particular range, right? in select option. You can put in that select option and you can use like this. So keep maximum where condition, right, to get the small result set. So maximum where condition, use maximum where condition, maximum where condition. Now suppose top also you can use, like select top 100 rows or select up to 1000 rows, right? So if you are having some scenario where you don't require all the data, you require only top 1000 record. Why to get all the record over here and then find out which is the top 100 records? Not required, right? So what you can do, you can use over here up to 1000, right, up to 1000 rows or something like that. You can write whatever your requirement, and with this you can use, so up to n rows you can use this one. And similarly there can be another also, which through which you can keep your result set small. Okay, so you must have to keep your result set small. Okay, result set small. So maybe I can uh, draw a diagram also. See, instead of getting this much result, instead of getting this much result, get a small result, get the a small result. So like that, this is, so a small set, big set is not recommended, big set result is not recommended. So what I will do, I will come over here and I will cross it. Okay, big set result is not recommended. Now the second point what we are having, that in the second point we have, let me do one thing here. The second result, the second point, see, the number of database hit, the number of database hit decrease the number of database hit. That means this is very popular, we already know. Okay, that means inside the loop you don't have to put any select query. Don't put any select query inside the loop. We already know as a ABAPer we don't have to put. Why we don't have to put? Because whenever we whenever like if you put the uh, select query inside a loop, whenever data is going to be fetched from the database connection gets established between the application server and database server. So every time what it will happen, that database connection will be established, data will be fetching and coming over here. Again second time database connection will be established, data will be fetched, here it will be stored. So why to do that? This is not recommended at all. This is a very bad practice, right? So they decrease the number of database hit. Okay, so that is not recommended at all. So grammatically also maybe we can write so instead of multiple hit, instead of multiple hit, what we can do, that we have to use, we have to use only the required, like only one time. So in case of, instead of multiple, we have to use only one time. Okay, and after that, so how you can achieve this one, right? How you can achieve this, how can you avoid the multiple hit? So what you can do, that what you can do, that just a second, yeah, I will keep it little back over here. Okay, so here we can give how to achieve this particular point, how to achieve. So the first what you can use, the for all entries, very popular, right? In ABAP world, very popular and very important interview question also for ABAP, right? For all entries. So if you know that you have multiple record, and based upon that record only you have to get the data. So instead of putting the query in the loop, use the for all entry. So in one go you will get the data. Okay, and there is a concept called for all entries, for all entries with enabled FDA. FDA means fast data access. Okay, enabled FDA means fast data access. So what happens that whenever you write, whenever you write any select query, okay, whenever you write any select query, so and if you use the for all entries over there, okay, so for example, suppose if you have some amount of data, some large amount of data in table 1, okay, so this may be our table 1, okay, this is our table 1, okay, in this we are having the large amount of data. This is my table 1, and in this table we are having a lot of data, table 1. And now what we are trying to do, that we want to fetch the data from the table 2. Okay, we want to, again we are having another table, maybe I can denote with this another table. Okay, so this is, let us suppose this is your internal table. You have already prepared this data in this internal table, and you are going to fetch on this database table. This is your DB table, your DD table, data dictionary table. For example, let us suppose this is your Mara table. Okay, this is your Marcy table. Maybe here in this table you have got the record from the Mara table, IT underscore Mara. Okay, and you want to select all the plants. You want to select all the plants from this Marcy table, whichever the material here you are having, right? Here you want to select Matner, here Vox, the plant, and some another field also, maybe we don't bother. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we are having 10 over here. Let me take the 10 material number. Okay, so now you are going to put the select for all entry over here. Okay, now you are going to put the for all entry over here. So how you are going to write the for all entry code over here? So let me delete this, right click, and I will delete rows. Okay, so here I can write the select query now. So you are just going to write this select some field, for example matnr, then works from Marcy into table, and I'm just going to give this internal table IT underscore Marcy. Okay, for all entries in IT, this is our internal table IT underscore Mara. Okay, where where Matner equals to IT underscore Mara hyphen Matner. So this is how we write the select query for the for all entries, right? Where Matner equal to IT hyphen Matner, and we are going to get the data into IT underscore Marcy, and data will be filled over here. So how it works generally, what happens? First, it will take some two record, and it will send to the database Marcy, and it will put the join over there, and it will get the data and it will put into this IT underscore Marcy. Okay, whatever the relevance recall for this to, again it will go into for this 3 4, again it will go for 5 6, again it will go for 7 8. So it is not this much small. It can be minimum up to 30 records or 50 records. Some configuration will be there at the basis layer side. One parameter is there. If we're going to set that one, based upon that the number of entry will go in one go. Okay, number of entry will be go. So suppose if you are having the 500, and if you have set that parameter as the 50, so 50 records will go in one go to the marcy table, and it will fetch all the relevant record and it will put internally it underscore marcy. Again another 50 will go and fetch. So this is going to hit the database 10 times. So for all entries, also going to put the loop, but not for one by one, not by one by one, not by one by one, right? One by one is going to be very costly. But you are using the for all entries, instead of putting 50 times loop, you are going to put only one time. For 50 records you are going to use only one time with the help of for all entries. So this is one thing. So to avoid these things, like to avoid the normal functionality of getting the record based upon some fixed number of records, there is a concept called fast data access, FDA. This is called FDA, fast data access. So what you can do, that generally it is enabled in the it's a feature of I think 7.40 NetWeaver 7.40, this fast data access. Okay, so here fast data access. So what will happen, that generally nowadays it will be enabled. So your basis people will enable this one. So if fast data access is enabled, this parameter is enabled, all the material number over here, 500 material number if you are having, okay, then all the 500 will go to the marcy, and it will put the and it will get the data from the marcy in one go, and it will put into the it underscore marcy, so in one go, so it will avoid looping. Okay, so that's the meaning of fast data access, and that's how it's going to be very, very fast. Okay, that's how it's going to be very fast. But it is having one problem, is that I will let you know over here. Fast data access, that's why it's a in one go itself. Maybe you can write in one go itself, it will get all the data from marcy for all the values in it underscore mara. Okay, if fast data access is enabled. Okay, if it is enabled, in that case, if it is disabled, then it will behave as earlier, like this. So generally how it works, so generally for all entries, if AE takes the record from the table based on the fixed number of records. Okay, based upon supplying fixed number of records, supplying fixed number of records. Okay, this is generally if you enable this one. But what will happen, suppose if you are having this internal table it underscore mara, some millions record is there. In case you are using some ANLA table, assets table, right? In case of assets table, you are having lot of records, correct? So in case of asset kind of table, right, globally if you have enabled this fast data access, and if we are going to first fetch the data from the ANLA table, so in case of this marcy, you are having the table called ANLA, okay, for the asset, and then you are having a table called ANLC. I think this is for item. Okay, so if into table, it's my bad, ANLC. So I'm going to select the data, some data. I don't know the field name for that, exactly the field name. So select a star from, just I'm using a star. A star is very bad practice to use, but here just for demo I'm showing you. So ANLA, sorry, ANLC, already you are having the data in ANLA table, okay, which is having large amount of data, okay, which is having large amount of data. Or even in case of mara also, we could have taken the example of mara also. Let me take this one itself. Okay, so but generally issue we face about the ANLC, I have seen many times the issue in mara and marcy. I have not faced any issue, but you know, but in ANLC you may face many times issue. issue. Okay, so select a star from here. I know the field Matner works like that. Okay, here what will happen, suppose if you are having IT underscore Mara, some millions recorded there, and if you are going to use this for all entries, it will take all the record from the IT underscore Mara and it will try to fetch the data from Marseille. In that case, it will give you the memory dump. If it's some billion records or million records is there, it will give you in that case memory record, memory out, memory uh, full memory issue or something like that, full memory or memory out issue, memory out issue. In case of if you are going to, if FDA is enabled and if you're having the large amount of data. So this is the cons it is having. So to avoid these cons, wherever such select query you are having and you are facing such problem, you are having a SQL hint. Okay, for the HANA specific hint is there. So if you are going to use that hint, percentage you can use, and hint underscore HDB, right? And underscore, you will having some prefer kind of, and here you have something like 0. I don't remember exactly the how the hint is there, but it will, every hint start with percentage hint, and after that you have to give the database name, and then you have to write the prefer. So why prefer? Means I'm just going to disable this one. Prefer 0 means I'm just going to disable the FDA, fast data access. I'm just going to disable in this particular select query, because I would not like to disable globally. I would not like to ask to basis to disable, because there are a lot of advantage of this fast data access in terms of performance, right? Only some places where I'm getting the large amount of data, there only I'm facing the issue. So what I will do, I will put this particular hint over there so that I will get better performance. Okay, I will get the better performance. Okay, so with the help of this hint, I can use over here, right? Let's go ahead. And so FD we have seen, for all entries we have seen how to achieve for all entries. And similarly, like you can use the inner join, right? You can how to get all the data and then you uh, do the manipulation over here. So you can use the inner join also. So instead of, you like wherever you are, like wherever you have to first get some data and do the filter, just do the for all entries over here. But if you know that at the same time you have to get the data from the two table, okay, use the inner join, prefer the inner join over the for all entries. If you can avoid the for all entries, use the inner join. It will give you the better performance when you are having the HANA database. So similarly, you can have a lot of other things also. Now, third point. What is the third point? The third point is, uh, whatever you are going to select, uh, keep the field lesser, something like that. Keep the number of fields lesser. If you are going to select, uh, get only those fields which is required. Get only those fields which is required. That means what I'm trying to tell over here, avoid the select star. That's it. I'm trying to tell over here, avoid the select star. So here you have to avoid. How to achieve this one? So avoid the select star. That's it. Means don't use the select star. Don't use the select star. Don't use. Don't use the select star. Okay. Whatever the field you require, use only those fields. Take care, get only those fields. So this is again one important guideline, very very important guideline. Okay, you must have to use those field only. Now the fourth one, because you are migrating from old system to the newer system, why to keep the unnecessary code? Why to keep the unnecessary code, right? Remove the unnecessary code. remove the unnecessary code. Remove the unnecessary code, right? Here also, what you can do, use parallel cursor, right? Use the parallel cursor technique, which we have learned in ABAP, right? Use here also the parallel cursor technique. Like why, how to use the parallel cursor in ABAP? Like in ABAP, you must be knowing how to use this parallel cursor, right? Use the binary search option. So just sort the field, use the binary search, and all the guideline you have learned in the ABAP, right? The sequence of field and you know the buffer, right? Use the binary search. Uh, use the buffer also in case of HANA database. Buffer mechanism also works in the same way, as it is working earlier. So use buffer, right? Use buffer, use binary search. Then in case, because if you are having the HANA system, so you can enable the text search option. You are having one option called text search option, or fuzzy search. So you can enable both the option, this text search and fuzzy search. In like in the last class we are going to discuss, means it will be 22nd class maybe, this text search and fuzzy search, how we can enable this text search and fuzzy search in our system. So these are the different, and all the guideline which you have learned in the ABAP, every guideline will be true here also. None of the guideline, like none of the guideline except some one or two. For example, here you can see we are not supposed to use the aggregate function here, right? Earlier guideline was there that we are not supposed to use the aggregate function if it is the Oracle database and all, right, in the select query, but now you can use. So this is the new guideline, right, in for all entries like the FDA, correct? So similarly, but like most of the guidelines from ABAP, it is still valid. Okay, it's still valid. Like see, you can see, don't use the select star. Earlier also the select query inside the loop, earlier also it was not recommended, correct? So for all entries, right, for all entries, select inside the loop. Here maybe I can write over here, select inside the loop. So these are the things you will have to take care. Don't use the, this is for this option. Okay. Okay, fine. If you have any doubt or if you want to discuss anything, please feel free to discuss. Okay.
So Pankaj, in HANA database, we can use select loop inside select statement inside loop. Is it so?
No, 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 no. That's what we understood over here, right?
Yeah, that's
It is
what.
not,
So
hmm, not recommended at all. That's
yeah,
very bad practice.
yeah.
Yes, not recommended. Means not at all recommended. That's a very bad practice. People
Mm.
used to tell earlier that if it is a HANA database, we can put the select inside the loop. That was just a myth. That's very bad practice. Whether it is any kind of database, why to put the select query in a loop, right? It will not. If you compare the performance without a loop and with like without the loop and with the loop, you will get lot of differences between, because it's a HANA database, because it's a HANA database. If you compare the result without the loop from the another database, you may get some better performance maybe, but if you compare with the HANA database itself, of course you are not going to get better result. So don't, never we are supposed to put the select query inside the loop. Okay. So now we will see that all these guideline is going to come and bundle together in the performance underscore DB. That variant, or even some more guideline is there, and in some future some SAP is going to release some more guideline. Everything will come under this performance underscore DB variant. So you don't have to remember all these things, but for interview purpose maybe you can remember if they are going to ask. But here for in actual implementation purpose, you just have to remember performance underscore DB, and if you want it's optional, performance underscore DB underscore edition. Okay, performance underscore DB underscore edition. This you can use wherever the potential places will be there, it will just tell you. Okay, so what I will do, I'm just going to write inside this loop. I'm just going to write this select query, or maybe I will just copy this one, this select query over here, and I will paste it. Okay, remove. Okay, and now if you will check with that particular, it will tell you this is a problem. If you will use that particular variant, check the syntax, some issue is there, right, in this code table one. Loop at, okay. What we can do here, data it underscore table one, type table of ts underscore mara. I will remove this one because now I have declared over there. Okay, check the syntax, it will ask to give you the host, fill amenity from select list is missing in the group by. Okay, because we are using the aggregate function, that's why it's telling. So we will discuss all these things, why it is telling like this. It underscore table has a fewer fields than selected. Okay, mandate I'm going to remove from here. Control FT, integer here mandate. Okay, amend it is fine, but this ntgew I don't have to use. Control F2, and WA was already declared. Now it's fine. Activate this one. So such kind of like potential places, like if some you know already this all these things, but still I'm showing you. So if we're just going to use this performance underscore DB option over here, performance underscore DB option is here. Press enter, or from here also you can select, you will get all the list of all the list of variants. You can see here performance underscore DB, right here function underscore DB, function underscore DB edition, performance underscore DB edition is not here, so I think that that particular variant is not there, only performance underscore DB you are having. But here function underscore DB underscore edition, performance checklist, one more variant, but this is the mandatory one. Here you can see performance checklist HDB, right? But this is the one which will have to take care, performance underscore DB. Just run this now, and once you run, it will tell you that analysis for where condition for the select query. It is telling no where condition. It is telling no where condition. Why you have not put any where condition, right? So that one guideline we have just seen, that we must have to put the where condition, so that we will keep the result set minimal, right? So priority one, it is telling you priority one, right? It is telling you priority one means you must have to take care. In priority it is coming the first priority. Second priority, simple nested routing DB means such DB operation in loops across modularization unit. It is telling why you have put the select query inside the loop. So if you double click over here, and it will directly navigate to that particular place also. Okay, so you double click over here, or maybe I think here if you click, yeah, you can see directly it is taking over here, right? So here also if you click, it will take you to the where condition. Here there is no where condition, right? So it is telling for this particular thing. So we must have to give the where condition. Here also it is telling the second option in the performance DB, exec SQL found. So we have to take care. So performance DB things also it is like in performance DB, you know, also from performance point of view also we are not supposed to use the native SQL. Why? What is the reason? Because you know SAP is having the database abstraction interface, right? So if we're going to write any select query in, that means if we're going to write any open SQL, database abstraction interface optimize the query as per its a standard guideline. Okay, but here if we are we're directly going to write the exec and end exec and this native SQL database interface will not come into the picture, right? And it will not do any kind of optimization, right? So that's why it is always recommended to use the open SQL, and there are lot many advantage of using the open SQL, right? We have already understood those things. Here you can see DB operation select for found. Let us see what it is trying to tell. Here also it is trying to tell something. Let us understand what is trying to tell. Search DB operation. You can come over here. DB operation select for marathon cannot be hidden using a pragma or pseudocode. Search DB operation select for found. Let me check what it is telling. The check searches for database statements in the ABAP code. Only search for these tables. Here it is possible to restrict the search to access to the selected tables. Search for exec SQL operation. Choose to find exec SQL operation. Search for modifying DB operations. Choose one or more of the. I don't know what it is trying to tell, but this is how you know. This is how you can identify the places and you can do the correction. So maybe if we're going to remove the select query itself, okay, this loop, if we're going to remove the another error, and if we're going to put some where condition over here, so where I'm just going to put and matnr equals to just give 64 or something like that, some you know, but it will be of 18 characters. So just I'm trying to put something like, let's suppose this is of 18 characters. Just save it, check it, and here w is unknown. Why unknown? Okay, exec up to 1000 rows. Okay, and select we have to give, right? Let me check what is the problem. Field w is unknown. This is fine. I'm just going to remove this one. Yeah, so just activate this one, and what you will be having, you know, this matplotlib. And now if you run for the select query, though it was telling three important, you know, message over there, now it will not tell you any kind of message. Just check ABAP test cockpit, and with the performance DB, right, option default performance DB CE, click on this execute. Okay, and this time you can see there is all that message is gone, all that information which was telling gone. Only one message it is coming, DB operation select for is found. I'm not understanding what is this message exactly, what it is trying to tell. Okay, so double click and search DB operation, but this is the priority too, need to be checked what it is trying to tell and what we have to take care. Okay, so I think it's priority too, so we don't have to bother that much. Okay, and if you want, if you think that you can't avoid anything, you know, then you can use the pseudo code. It will give you the pseudo code also there itself, like what you can use to avoid this message. Okay, I will show you that pseudo code. It will show there itself. Okay, so here extended program, it is actually inactive. Okay, so you can get the pseudocode also. You can just put here the pseudocode and it will not give, it will not check then, you know, pseudocode will start with hash. Okay, it will start with hash, and you have to some CI kind of things it will start, and if you are going to use, then it is just ignore. Just save it and activate this one. It got activated. Fine. If you have any question, you can go ahead and you can ask me. Now, the next point, let's come over here, and in the next point what we'll have to do, we will see the different types of database operation. This is very important in order to understand, because we are going to learn the DB, right? So because we are going to learn the DB, it is important to understand what is the, what is the different kind of database statement we are having and which we are going to use it over here, right? So let's go and we will see what is the different kind of database statement we are having. So database statement. So what is the different kind of database statement we are having? First statement, we are having the DDL, right? This is also known as the database definition language. Okay, this is also known as the database definition language. Database definition language. What is the database definition language? That means if you are going to create some table or some structure, right? So that comes under the, like, if the way of defining. So how you define, actually how you defining is nothing but creating. So because we are having the data dictionary, a wonderful tool, right? So we don't face any problem while creating a table. If we don't have that, then we'll have to use the data definition language, create table, and then we'll have to give the field name, and then we have to give the, so if you want to directly go at the database level, and if you want to create the table over there, you can do something like this: create table, and you can give the table name, maybe the table name, let us suppose Hana demo table. Okay, and here you can start with this a small bracket. You can give the field name, so first field, and then type you can give. So there you will have to give the varchar. Okay, varchar 10, something like that, and again field 2, again varchar 3, like that you will have to give, and at least one field should be the key field. So like that you will have to give, and then only you will be able to create the table. So directly at the HANA database level also you can create the table. If you don't want to create the table with the help of SC11 tool, you can directly create with the help of HANA database. You can go to the SAP HANA Studio, and there you can create. Okay, there you can create, but you will not be able to access from the application server layer with the help of ABAP, because your system does not know. For that purpose, we will have to use the native SQL, because directly we are going to table created at the HANA database layer. So whichever table you are going to create from the SE11, those table only you can access with the OpenSQL at the application server layer. Okay. So here I will give you a brief introduction about this HANA Studio. This is our HANA Studio. With the help of HANA Studio, you can directly access your HANA database. Okay. So here you can see you are having different tab, right? This is the administrative mode. This is called administrative mode. Here, this is, if you put the cursor over here, you will be able to see it is the developer mode. Okay, HANA developer mode. Here, this is the ABAP development mode. Okay, this is the different mode. This mode is also known as perspective. Okay, but this is not only the perspective. You are having different mode, different perspective. All the different perspective you can see over here. Click over here and you will see there are different. Suppose if you have to do the Java development, suppose if you have to do the debugging, if you have to do the BW modeling, if you have to use a ABAP profiling and tooling, right? I will show you how to use this ABAP profiling and tooling. If you have to use this ABAP development also, we will create some program in HANA Studio itself, right? HANA development you can see. So different you are having the perspective over here. Okay, based upon your requirement, you can choose your perspective. The frequently used perspective is also listed over here, right? You can go to the Hana administrative console or Hana development console, and you can directly connect with the database. I'm first going to the Hana administrative console, and here you can see this is nothing but our database. Okay, this, the double click over here and it will, it will show you all the important property about the Hana database. You can come over here, you can see the version. What is the version? 2.000, this, right? SP03 Hana 2 SP03, latest is SP04, right? But still it is very latest, still it's a very good server. Now the Linux and all, you can see here the platform SUS Linux Enterprise, right? It also supports the Red Hat. It has started supporting Red Hat as well, correct? And here, different host name and all the information you will see over here. You can go to the landscape over here, right? And you can see that the different server which is there in the Hana, right? We have talked about the name server, we have talked about the index server, right? Doc store server, some another server. There are many server, right? Compile server compile the script code. Okay, web dispatcher, this is the part of, this is again part of the Hana, Hana architecture. Access engine, right? Access engine, access engine is nothing but access classic and access advanced. So such kind of services, it's already running over here, everything in green. That means system is working fine. Performance, you can check how the performance is currently, volumes, configuration. There are many different another properties there that you can go over there. Okay, I want to suppose write a native SQL over here. For example, suppose I want to write a native SQL. Okay, let me tell you some more important stuff over here. You can see here, this is the system name. Okay, HAQ, this is the Hana DB name over here. HAQ is the Hana DB. S4H, that means this is the S4 Hana system. Okay, catalog, you are able to see. What is the catalog? Catalog is nothing but the collection of schema. These are the different schema. What is the schema? Schema is nothing but a dedicated area in the database where all the related objects is stored. Okay, so this is one area is there in the Hana database. This is another separate area. This is another separate area, another separate area. So why the separate area has been created in the Hana database? The reason behind, in a single Hana database, different people can use for the different purpose. The same database can be used for the different purposes. Okay, and authorization and security can be maintained separately for each of the area, right? If some people is having the authorization for this particular area, other people will not be having authorization for this area. Okay, so this is nothing but area where your object is going to be stored. Okay, so if you check your system, you can come over here, and if you check your system, this is by default going to get connect with your Hana system. Click on this status. Okay, and you will see, it is connected with the Hana system, but it will, it will connected with some schema, not the whole Hana database system. The system here, which we are able to see, this is connected with some dedicated schema. So this is the schema. Okay, this is the schema, SAP Hana DB. This is the name of the schema. Generally, generally the schema name comes in the format, the SAP and the system name. That's it. Here, this 3 letter is advanced, means extra. Generally, it does not come like this. If you see in your company or somewhere else, it will be SAP and the system name. Suppose your system name is S4H. For example, let us see what is the system name for this. So you can come over here, click here, and you can see the system name is DV2. Okay, so generally the schema name should be SAP DV2. That's it. This should be only the schema name. This is the standard practice to define the schema for any system. This is the demo system again, so we cannot tell anything. It depends on them. Whatever they want to do, they do. Okay, so I have just shown you with what schema the system is connected. So you can see the SAP Hana DB. This is the schema through which the system is connected. Okay, come over here and you can see here the SAP HANA DB. Here this schema is there. Okay, if you want to search some table, you can come over here and you can see this button, you can click over here and you can see it will give you all the table name. But suppose if you have to select, if you have to filter your table, so just right click over here and click on this find table. Okay, click on this find table and you can write your Mara table. Suppose if you're looking for Mara table, it will just search and it will give you, okay, the Mara table. So just you can scroll down and you can see the Mara table. Okay, so some view it is showing. Okay, and from here you can identify your Mara table. This is the Mara table. Okay, this is the Mara table. So this is how here you can get your Mara table. You can see the definition, material number, ERSDA. This is how it is getting represented over here. Here you can see the data type is the different based upon the database, right? In the database format it is there. So this is how you can do. And if you want to see the content of this Mara table, what is the content, that also you can see. You will be having one option called data preview. Okay, you will be having one option called data preview. So, or you can please just press F8. Let us see, it's not working with the F8. Just a second. Here this option comes, refresh, execute. Okay, it's not coming over here, no issue. What we will do, we will go to the Mara directly over here, but it will be a headed to go like this way. What you can do, you can filter. You'll be having one option called filter over here and just search the Mara. Click on this OK button. So only related with Mara it will come. You can see the Mara has come now. Right click over here and data preview. You will get one option called open data preview. Okay, and from here you can see all the data in the Mara table, right? So this is how you can check. Now suppose if you want to put the direct select query on the HANA database table, okay, that is possible in the HANA Studio. Okay, so you can go to the console, just select the schema. First select the schema, okay, and click on the SQL console. Here you can see the open SQL console for the selected system. So I'm going to run the SQL console for this particular SAP HANA DB and where I can write my select query. So here it is open. You can see that by default it is connected with HAQ ABAP HANA schema. This is the schema name. You can see this is another schema. It is not connected with SAP HANA DB schema, right? So if I'm going to write the select query, this is the native SQL. Whatever I'm going to write it over here, only HANA database understands this. Okay, so select a star from Mara, press F8, and if I'm going to give this, you can see this data is coming from not this SAP HANA DB schema. This is coming from ABAP HANA schema because it is not connected with my this SAP HANA DB. Okay. So now I want to get the data from this SAP HANA DB and the table is Mara. So what we will do that we will come over here and it's easy actually. Let me open again a SQL console. So I will click on this. I will close this one. I don't require. Select a star from, just you drag and drop this one. This is schema name. You drag and drop. Okay. And give the dot over here. Then again in double quotes, give the Mara. Give the Mara. Okay, and that's it. Press F8. So now what it will do, it will get the data from this schema, means Mara table of this SAP HANA DB schema. So the number of records, if you will see over here, suppose if you want to count the number of record in this, count a star. Okay, so just press F8 and you can see the 640 records is there in Mara table. Let's verify. You will see some discrepancy, I will let you know why this discrepancy is there. Mara, though yesterday we have discussed, I will ask you, go to this content, click on this number, and you can see here also you are having 640, right? Here also you are having the 640, right? There is no discrepancy because there is only one client. There is only one client we are having. Okay, there is one client. On the other hand, I can show you from the different system there is some discrepancies there because there is a different client. So I'm having another system also ready for you. Just give me a second. This is my system, and here I will open the HANA Studio. Okay, in this system you will get the discrepancy. The reason behind, at the native layer in the different client, data has been stored. So quickly I will show you. You will be having the better understanding in this case. I will go to again here the development mode or maybe the data administrative mode. Click on this, and what you will do that, go here, go to the systems, select this one, go to the double click first, and let us connect with the database. Okay, what? Okay, so now it got connected, and select this one, go to the SQL. Okay, and here if you go and select a star from Mara, from Mara, so here here also you have to check from which schema it's going to get the data, right? Here we'll have to check from which schema. So go to system, and let us see. Here schema is TM3. See, very bad naming convention. This is not good naming convention of giving the schema name. It should be, it should be what? It should be the SAP, then the name of the system. What is the name of the system over here? You can just see this is the name of the, I think, I'm not able to open it now. Yeah, you can see S43 is the system name. So SAP S43 should be the schema name. The TN3 is the schema. Come over here and we will see the TN3 is here. There is no schema called TN3. I will not be able to show you in this case because it is not properly configured system. Okay, no issue. So let's go ahead, and I will go to this system, and here you can see the total 640, and here also you are having the 640, right? 640. So the mandate, the client, and everything is the same. That's why we are able to get the number of count is same. If the like here you are putting the select query, it is getting the data from the all client. If you are having 800, 810, some different client is also there, it is going to get the data from different client also, right? But if you are going to put the select query, here that if you are going to check the data in this Mara table here, it is going to show you only the client number 400. Okay, but since data is only there in the 400, that's why we are able to see the number of records equal. Otherwise you would have seen the discrepancy. Here you might be because from the different client, if data is maintained, then it will be, in that case it will be greater than 640. Okay, fine. So this you understand a little bit idea you got over here. Let's go and so similarly here you can write this create a statement at the console itself. You can write and you can create a table. Okay, create table. Okay, and you can give the name of the table, maybe demo table. Okay, and here you will have to give the key field 1 varchar let's suppose 10, and then field 2 varchar 12, something like that, and you just have to press enter. Okay, some problem is there, the syntax, it is telling some syntax issue is there, so let me correct the syntax. What it is telling, just auto commit, create table demo tab, run once again. SQL syntax, incorrect syntax, field 1, line 1, column 27. Varchar, give the comma, let us check. So this is not the proper syntax actually, that's why I will check what is the syntax to create the table, and if you are going to write this in the proper syntax over here, then only it will create the table. Okay, but with the help of SE11, this much you don't have to do, so it's very easy to create at SE11. So this is actually known as the data definition language. This create and all is known as the data definition language. Okay, suppose if you want to modify some table, right? If you want to modify some table, so you are having the command called alter. Okay, you are having the command called alter, so you can modify the table. If you want to modify some field length, or if you want to add some extra field, you can use the alter command. Similarly, you have one more command called drop. Suppose if you want to delete the table completely, so you are having drop command over there. I don't remember the syntax, maybe I will prepare the syntax and I will show you in the next class. Exact syntax I don't remember. Okay, so database definition language, create table. So what is the example for this DDL? So the example for this I have just shown you. One is create, another is alter, and another is drop. This comes under the DDL. Then you are having the DML. What is DML? DML is nothing but data manipulation language. Data manipulation language. Okay, so what is the meaning of data manipulation language? Suppose if you are having some data in the database table, so you are going to modify, you are going to insert, you are going to update. So this is nothing but your data manipulation language. So insert, update, or update, delete, modify. So these comes under the data manipulation language. Then another, you are having the data query language, right? Whenever you put the select query, what is that? That is nothing but your select query. So you are just going to fetch the data. So select query comes into the data query language. Then you are having the TCL, transaction control language. So what is the meaning of transaction control language, right? What is the meaning of transaction control language? So transaction control language is nothing but, suppose if you are going to insert some record, or suppose if you are going to update some record, okay, so you have sent the command, okay, you have sent the command to the database that database, please update this particular record with this key, okay, and you know, and at that time itself, suppose power gets failure, okay, or your database gets disturbed due to some problem, due to some memory outage, or due to some power issue, or due to some connection issue. So in that case, this data control language play very important role. Okay, or or you know or so, or maybe you can see like if everything goes perfect, then what you will do, you will use the commit work, right? Or you can, and if everything does not work properly, like any problem comes, then you can roll back the transaction. So whatever you have done, the insert or update or delete or modification, if everything goes fine, immediately you do this commit work. Okay, once you do the commit work, everything will be written over there perfectly in the database. Okay, if you face any problem, or if you see any logical problem or whatever, and if you didn't want to commit the record, if you don't want the if you didn't want to save the record in the database, then you can use the rollback. So this is the transaction control language. You are controlling the transaction with the help of this commit work statement and rollback statement. Okay, so very, very important. Actually, this is quite big topic, this TCL. Okay, this is quite big topic, right? So, but the thing is, one important concept you have to understand: database or any transaction, whenever you are going to do any transaction, or whenever you are going to write like insert or update or delete, whatever. So any database statement which we are going to do over here, all the database statement or even the database follows the ACID property. Okay, so what is this ACID property? Okay, so ACID property is nothing but A stands for atomic, A stands for atomicity, atomicity. So what is the meaning of atomicity? Atomicity is nothing but all the transaction in a database must be, atomic. Atomic means, suppose, uh, you have put the select query on a Mara table, right? So either it should give the data which is there, or if no data is there, then it should not give any data. So either it should give the data or it should not give the data. That is called atomicity. Means it's atomic. The transaction should be atomic. Either it should be successful or it should be fail. There should not be any ambiguity in between this. At the same time, it should not be successful and fail also. Either it should be successful or it should be fail. That is known as, either successful, either successful or fail. That is the meaning of atomicity. Okay, now uh, uh, so maybe I don't know, like if you are able to understand atomicity or not. Maybe I can give one more example. For example, if we're going to take the money from the ATM, okay, you can take the example of ATM, right? And if we're going to give the command that give me 5,000 rupees, okay, and ATM is suppose in between, uh, it 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 gives you that successful plus fail, both things at the same time. Suppose if it is going to give you, then you will get confused and there will be no any meaning of that, right? So either it will tell successful, that means you should get the money, and if it is going to tell fail, that means your money should be over there. It's, you should not be in the confusion that what happened to my money, that I have already clicked on the 5,000 and I've clicked on the OK button. So what would happen to my 5,000 rupees money? So just to make sure that if it is failed, then again the 5,000 will be rolled back and it has been saved into your account. Okay, if it is successful, then in that case it will be deducted from your account. Another, we can take the example like deep insert into the gateway, or you can take the LUW in the ABAP. So deep insert in the gateway is nothing but it's a OData concept, right? So whenever you are going to give any command from the Fury or UI5 application with the help of OData for deep insert, right? Deep insert is nothing but, right, for the sales order, you are going to create the sales order item, right? Or the purchase order, you are going to create the purchase order item. So such kind of command is known as a deep insert, right? So if we're going to do such kind of things over there, so uh, like either everything should be completed or none should be completed. Okay, if you are going to create the header, the item should also be there. It should not be like that, if item got created and header is not there, then there is no meaning of this transaction. So atomicity is very important role. Then C stands for consistency. C stands for consistency. All the database transaction or statement should be consistent. So for example, suppose if you have a student table, right? So one student table is there and another table you are having a student mobile number table. So one student table you are having and another table you are having a student mobile table where you are going to insert the field. So let me show you. Here you are having a student table, okay, So suppose you are having the student number 1 over here and 2 over here. This is your stud ID 1 and 2, and then another table you are having, which is a student mobile number table. Okay, a student mobile number table. So here a student and here the mobile number. So the first table is your student master table, means all the student first must be maintained over here. Okay, then only in another table it should be maintained. So you are having only 1 and 2, and suppose you are going to maintain here in the mobile table, you are going to maintain 3 or 4, something like that. The student which is not present at all in the main database, how it will be present in the mobile database, right? How mobile will be present for that particular student who is not there. So that means in this case record is inconsistent. So where the inconsistency, there is a concept called foreign key relationship, right? Check table concept, foreign key relationship, cardinality, cardinality comes into the picture in that case. So mainly that is the foreign key relationship. With the help of foreign key relationship, we restrict the result, we restrict the entry, into this dependent table. This is the dependent table on this particular master table. So only 1 or 2 will be allowed. If you want to enter the third number student, first you have to maintain over here in this main table, then only you will be able to maintain some mobile. So this way you can maintain the consistency. Okay, so every every database or every database transaction or every database database transaction or statement should be consistent, should be consistent. Okay, we can take one practical example. Okay, that like if it is not going to be consistent, right? If it is not going to be consistent, then you will not be having the faith on your data, like how the data is. So that's why the consistency takes place. For example, at your home, some railway station is there, and at 9 o'clock every day some train is coming, right? So you will get a good confidence, you will gain that yes, every day at 9 o'clock it is coming. That means this train is consistent. In the similar way, if your database is going to give you the consistent data, you will be having the faith on the database, or you will be having the faith on the transaction or the statement. Okay, so I is nothing but for isolation. Isolation. So what is the meaning of isolation? Means each transaction should be it each transaction should be isolated, means should be independent of each other. So suppose today I have gone to the ATM and I have bought 500 rupees over there, and tomorrow if I go, and then tomorrow if I go and if in my account the sufficient money is there, then database should not consider the previous transaction, like whether it is fail or pass. The next transaction should be isolated, means should be complete in itself. It should not have any dependency on the previous transaction. All the transactions should be separated by each other. There must be, so there must be independency, between the two transaction. Okay, another is D stands for durability. Okay, D stands for durability. If you are going to deposit the money in a bank, or maybe in an ATM itself, or if you are going to withdraw the money from the ATM, and if you are going to get the money, then once you receive the money, then money should be deducted from your account, and the remaining amount should be saved with durable state. It is not like for first 1 hour it is showing that in your account you are having 5,000 rupees, in another second hour it is showing that it is having 10,000 rupees. So the transaction should be durable with consistency, isolation, and all these things. So durability is also very important. So whatever you have saved over there, even the database is going to shut down, or database is going to get fail, whatever data you have saved over there, it must be over there. Okay, so TCL, whenever you are going to perform a TCL, so maybe suppose this is your TCL, and here again your TCL is there. So between two TCL, okay, this is one TCL, one transaction control language. Maybe you have written some code over here, right? Some SQL, some DML operation you have written, right? And again you have written over here some DML operation in between. Just let me some DML over here we are having, and here also we are having some DML. Here also we are having some DML, right? So after some modification, insert, update, delete, or modify, here suppose some modify you have written. So M for modify, I'm just writing, and after that you have taken some action, either commit work or rollback. Again you started some insert, or suppose some update, or suppose some modify, or maybe you have some delete statement. Okay, if you have some delete statement, then what you are going to do over here, that what you are going to do over here, just a second, that here, like at last you will decide whether all the transaction, all the manipulation is going to be saved in the database or not. Here you will decide. So between two TCL you will be having set of manipulation, okay, and it must follow the ACID property, right? Either when you are going to use this commit work or rollback, after all this transaction, either it should be successful, or it should be, it should be uh, fail. Okay, so between two TCL, whatever the statement or command you have written, all itself should follow the ACID property, and all together should also follow the ACID property, and in together all the database statement also together follow the ACID property. Okay, so that is how, that is how the system is going, and that's why Oracle got that much popularity. Oracle, because Oracle is still the leader, though Hana came, but still Oracle is the leader in the field of database, because their database is so much consistent, lot of consistency, durability, all this property is very much involved in their database. So this is all about this particular things, and what we will do that in our coming classes, in next class I'm going to show you about the new OpenSQL. I'm going to start from today itself. I will give you some idea like how it's going to be. Okay, come to here. I will go to that particular system, and I will use that system only, one system. Click on this, yes, close this one. Okay, let's go to the system, and we'll create one program, and we will see what is the new enhancement has come into the picture. Okay, so all this stuff we are going to see into our next couple of classes. We are going to cover in detail. Okay, go to SC38, and we will write jet demo new OpenSQL, new OpenSQL 1, maybe I can write. Click on this create button, new OpenSQL 1, executable, click on this save. local object. Okay, come over here. Earlier what we used to do when we have to fetch the data from the database, okay, yeah, so we used to declare the types over here, right? Types begin of ts underscore, suppose you are going to fetch the data from Mara, okay, end of ts underscore Mara, and here you are going to first you have to declare Matner type Matner, then you are going to declare the mtart type mtart, and then what you can take that mbrsh type mbrsh comma, okay, pretty printer. And here if you have to declare the internal table or work area, so first we'll declare the work area, wa type, give the data keyword wa type table of ts underscore Mara. So work area I have declared, and if you have to declare the internal table, so it underscore Mara, just I'm going to declare type table of ts underscore Mara, full stop. Okay, pretty printer, I will keep. Source text was formatted, okay, indentation is not selected it seems. Click on this, okay, now fine. So here you can go to the select, matnr, mtart, mbrsh into work area, right? If you are going to select the single record, you write single into the work area where select single from Mara, you have to give actually from Mara into work area where you are just going to give some condition over here, maybe matnr equals to some value. I'm just going to give some dummy value over here. So like that you can do it over here. This is the old syntax. So you are going to fetch the single record based upon this material number, right? So let's go to this Mara table, click on this save, and I will get some content from here, real content. So 131 is the data, it is there. I will copy this one, F3, go back, give this one over here, Control V, just save it and activate this one. So this is the old syntax, okay. The same you can achieve with the new syntax directly. You don't have to do all these things, all this declaration and all. At the runtime itself it will take the shape, select single. So I'm just going to copy this, okay. But in the new syntax, all the in the new OpenSQL, in the new extension of the OpenSQL has been extended now, right? That is the new OpenSQL. You'll have to give the comma. You must have to give the comma over here. That is important. You must have to give the comma from Mara into this is this work area you have already declared. So if you are going to use the existing work area in the new OpenSQL, you must have to mention over here at the rate, okay. You have to make sure that it is a host variable, and for that you have to give the at the rate over here. So this is also fine. If you are going to use the existing one, you have to give the at the rate. Check the syntax, it will be fine, there is no problem, okay. Suppose you don't want to declare this one, you are feeling lazy to declare, okay, and at runtime itself if you want to declare the work area, what you can do the data and you can write wa underscore Mara. So this work area will be declared at runtime itself. You don't have to do this much, all this exercise, all this exercise is now gone. This single exercise is sufficient, okay. So first check this syntax. Okay, inline declaration must be select. Okay, so into at the rate, I actually missed over here. Check the syntax, at the rate you have to give, activate this one, and it got activated. Now put some breakpoint over here first and press effect. You can see that in this WA you can got this 131, right? This particular record you got, correct? You got this particular record. So here you can see 131 FERT and M is there, right? So again, just go back and here you run this one. You can see it is not giving any problem, right? And in the same value got overwritten, size of RC is also 0, right? Means successful. The same. So both is working fine. And here also for the last one also, this one select single MATNR. This is the new syntax which I am using. Okay, so this is called inline declaration. Okay, this is also a new syntax only, but here the existing data declaration I'm using over here like this. Okay, and the second one is also, these two is new syntax. At the rate data w underscore mara, you can go double click over here and you can see the same data is coming, right? 131. So by this way also you don't have to do all this exercise directly. You can use this one. So I have commented and I have checked, it's working fine, right? So I will show you. That's the power of new syntax. Lot of coding has been reduced. Okay, lot of coding has been reduced. You can see here the w underscore mara. You can see the 131, right? Fine. So this is one way. Another, suppose if you are going to get the internal table, right? You are going to get the large amount of data. That means more than one record you are going to get. Okay, so what you used to do generally, right? Generally in the old way, this is actually the old way. I will just note it down. Old way. This is the new way. So this both is the part of new way actually. This is the new way, but here you are just going to use the existing one in this new way. The true new way is this one. Okay, true advantage you are going to get over here. New way with true advantage. Okay, why I have shown this one, sometimes you will face a scenario where already everything is declared and you are supposed to use the same work area, not you are supposed to use another work area. In that case, this is helpful. Okay, this concept is this you should know. Fine. Here I'm going to get the data directly into the internal table. Okay, so here the same way, into table you have to give, into table. Here select single you have to remove because you are going to get the multiple data. Into table at the rate of data and just give the IT underscore table. Okay, so this is the new way of selecting the data into the internal table. New way. What was the old way? This where condition just remove. I want to get all the data because this is my internal table. What was the old way? Old way, we are having, old way we were having, just put the select query on this, copy this one, paste it over here and remove this comma. Comma is not there in the old way. Okay, comma is not there in the old way. Into IT underscore mara. Okay, so this is the declaration of internal table. I'm putting the data over here, right? And here in the new way I'm just using this comma. Okay, I'm using this comma. So in new way you have to use the comma and this at the rate. Check the syntax. See, no problem, right? Activate this one, and put the breakpoint over here, press F8. And here you can see into this IT underscore mara you are having 640 records. IT underscore mara you are having the 640 records. You can see Just keep on going and you will see 640 records, right? Here also in the IT underscore table, this is at the runtime, it is getting, at the, actually it is known as the inline declaration, not actually runtime, it's an inline declaration. So IT underscore table has been already defined, but by the compiler, you can see it is having the 3 field. So already, like whatever the field we are going to select from here, based upon that field, the structure has taken place, right? Press F3 and you can see F6, and the same IT underscore table here also you are getting. So there is no difference, right? There is no difference. But now you will tell that, is it completely obsolete? Like, do we don't have to use anywhere or anytime we don't require? It is not like that. It is not obsolete, still it is very much useful in some scenario. Most of the time you are going to do your work with the new syntax itself. It's a very handy. You don't have to do this much exercise, this much headache you don't have to take. It was a big headache earlier when you have to add here one field, then again you have to go here and add the field. You have to search where is that. You simply can come over here and you can add the field. It will take taken care at this time itself. Okay, but sometimes you will require, for example, if we're going to use the sum over here, if we're going to use the aggregate function over here, what the problem will happen, if we're going to add this amount, the data type will be taken for this ntgew, where the sum of ntgew will be done. That will be put inside the data type of ntgew. For example, let us suppose you have one data type called char1. Okay, one field is char1, and that is some quantity field or something like some field which is representing some numeric value. For example, you have some value, something like a counter. Okay, let's take the counter, and you want to add this counter field. Okay, so in counter, what you are having, you will be having typically the value like, one you will be having, two you will be having, three will be having, like that your counter will be there. If you want to add this counter and if you want to put in a variable, right here, let us suppose you are having some counter. In Mara there is no counter as such, just I'm telling you, but this counter data type is of char1. Generally the counter data type will be char1 or char2. But when you are going to add this counter, what will happen, it will give you the large record, large amount of value it will give. Suppose you are having some 10,000 of records you are going to add, so the value will be something like, large amount of value will come. That will be not accommodated in this counter type of data type, which is automatically declared over here. Okay, so there you will get the problem. So in that scenario, what you will have to do, you will have to use such kind of declaration where the sum counter, what you can do, type, you will have to give like this, some big data type, int 8 or maybe char 100, something like that, so that the result will be stored in the sum counter. Otherwise, the result will be truncated. So some scenario you will face where still this is very much, you don't have other way, you will have to use, you can't ignore. Okay, so hope it's clear. If you have any question, please let me know. Okay, or if not, we will stop here itself, and the remaining, the old way, new way, and the existing also, if you want to use the simply, you can, the existing you can use like this, existing data element, internal table, simply into table at the rate of data is not required, at the rate it underscore table, or because here you are having the it underscore mara, right? Here you can use it underscore mara. So existing one you can use like this, it underscore mara. Let me remove this counter. Check the syntax, if it is giving you the correct, yeah, it's fine. So this is how you can use. So if you are going to use the new syntax, so you must have to use the new syntax throughout the SQL statement. Suppose here you have used the new syntax and here you are not going to use the @ then it will tell you please use throughout the new syntax. You can see if the new OpenSQL used, it must be used throughout. Throughout means everywhere. So here also you'll have to give the host variable, you will have to declare. So at the Mara is nothing but your host variable, right? So wherever you are going to use the host variable, you must have to use the @ okay, @ you will have to append. In the SQL script, there you will have to use colon, okay. To represent the host variable in SQL script, we are having the colon. We will see in detail this part. First, we will complete all the possible, most of the new OpenSQL extension we are going to cover in the next class. Okay. Once we complete, then we will see the new syntax, and then what we will do that again we will come and we will see there is one more technique to improve the performance. That technique is like how you can check the data uh, in the production system, like so that scenario, like we are having sqlm, sqlmd, sqlmc. This transaction is there with the help of which you directly put the trace. You can directly enable the trace in the production, and the trace is going to start asynchronously, which will not impact on the production server. Generally we are not supposed to put the trace in the production server. So after learning all this new syntax and all, once again we will go to the production, once again we will go to the like performance improvement technique, and we will try to see what other things we can take care to improve the performance. Okay, so first we will learn in detail all these things, then again we will go there, and again once again we will revise the performance guidelines, and along with that we will prioritize which fix we will have to take care first. Because if we're going to do that, there are so many places you will get, there are so many places you will get this ATC SCI. All these are known as the static check. Okay, so in case of a static check, there are many places you will find. Suppose you are having some 10,000 places where system has identified that you have to do the correction, but in your team suppose 2 or 3% is there, right? So you will not be able to correct all the places which you have identified with the help of performance underscore db or functional underscore db variant, right? Correct. So for that purpose, to prioritize the thing, to prioritize like which you must have to fix first, which statement first you must have to fix, right? That prioritization we will see with the help of the new tool which has been come in NetWeaver 7.10 SPS 12, and the enhanced feature has come in the NetWeaver 7.40 SPS 02. So now in 7.40 SPS 02 means 7.40 onwards itself, ABAP got completely changed. The new syntax and all got came, and lot of you can see how we are going to do over here. So in that way, this monitoring feature in the production, though it's old from 7.10 itself, but it become very effective from 7.40 SPS 02 onwards. So we will see that thing in detail, how we can use that feature. Okay, how we can use that feature. Okay, and here one point I will also write, just I remembered here, this inner join, this is maybe some interview question. I told you here the inner join, right? Here the decrease the number of database hit, right? So you can use the inner join in the HANA DB supports the inner join, left outer join. Okay, left outer join, and right outer join also. Earlier right outer join was not into the picture. Okay, so you can use this one, and earlier you were having only six inner join, means maximum you can use the 6 inner join in one select query, but now you can use up to 20. Okay, but now you can use up to 20. So maybe you can write it as a note. Okay, it's for information, and sometimes in HANA certification they ask it. Okay. So for earlier inner join supports only 6 tables at a time. Means 6 table you can use in a inner join, but now you can increase up to, but in HANA DB you can use up to 20 tables. So this is a part of your note. Okay, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. I will be happy to answer, or else now we can just leave. Now it's fine. Today's session is completed, and we will meet directly on Saturday. And what I'm going to do, please share your email ID. This will be my final list. Okay, just please share your email ID over here. Please give me your email ID over here.
In the chat window?
Yeah, in the chat window. Yeah, yes.
One more question to this. Where you will share this particular video for today's class?
Yeah, I will share you. Means after half an hour or 1 hour, you will get the email. First, it will get processed. It will take some time to get processed, and then I will share. Okay. Please share your email ID.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Please share your email ID. I will send the recorded video, and maybe this PPT also I will send you. Okay. So fine, then let's meet again on the Saturday with the new concept, with the new energy, with the new enthusiasm, and we will see the another set of open SQL extension, right? And the new syntax as well, we will see in detail. And then again we will come to the SQL monitor display, and SQL MC, how we can put the trace directly into the debugging. Okay, and then after we will start into the information model. After the information model, we will start the SQL script, then AMDP, then CDS, then VDM, then fuzzy search, then text search. All these things, it will take some time, but yes. So fine then. Have a nice day. I think everyone has put your email ID. If everyone has done, it's fine. Whoever has not done, please do. I'm not able to see all the email ID over here, because whatever email ID I'm seeing over here, I'm going to give the email to those only. Okay. So if you have already shared also, please give the email ID over here.